Hey, what's happening, people? It's Odd Eyes Ian, and today I'm back with the deck profile. I made a video on this deck a week, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I lose track of with all that's going on. But I was just showing it off in that video. But the cards I was waiting on have finally arrived, so it is time. Without any further ado, let's finally get back into deck profiles.
Alright, so starting off the deck profile, we're going to start with the Rokket monsters. We are running 3 of the Rokket Tracer. He is a level 4 Dark Tuner. Quick effect, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, special summon one Rokket monster from your deck, except for Rokket Tracer. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except for Dark monsters, which is fine, because that's what we run. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So he's our combo starter most of the times I've seen. Moving on, we run 2 Silver Rokket. When a link monster's effect is activated that targets this face-up card on the field, quick effect. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading. You can destroy this card and then look at your opponent's extra deck and banish one card from it. During the end phase, if this card was sent to the graveyard or in the graveyard because it was destroyed by battle or card effect and sent there this turn, you can special summon one Rokket monster from your deck, except for Silver Rokket Dragon. A lot of them are going to have similar effects to that, so I might skip reading that portion of the card. But moving on, we are running 2 Magna Rokket Dragon. This card's unique effect for the Rokket effect is you can destroy this card and send one monster on the field to the graveyard, and then bring it back during the end phase this effect is used, or the turn it was sent to the graveyard. And then you can special summon one Rokket monster from your deck. Oh, never mind, that's the same thing. I'm rereading, my bad. Moving on to 2 Rokket Recharger. If a dark monster you control was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, hand or field to the graveyard, then target one of those destroyed monsters, special summon one dark monster from your graveyard with a different name from the original name on that targeted monster. You can only use this effect once per turn. When a dark monster you control special summoned from the extra deck, your opponent monsters cannot target this card for attacks. So he's also a great little defender, being at 21 for his defense. Then we run the big Rokket. We run 2 Exploder Rokket Dragons, purely because he's big body. And I also use him as a rank 7. If I ever get both of them on the field, I will go for Big Eye, which I will show you guys later in the video. His unique effect is you can destroy this card each time, you can destroy this card, then each player takes 2,000 damage. During the end phase, it gets brought back, and then blah 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 blah, Rokket effect. We also run 2 Rokket Synchrons just for an additional synchro monster, just to make things a little bit easier. When this card is normal summon, you can target one level 5 or higher dark dragon monster that is in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position but negate its effects, and destroy it during the end phase. You can also not special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except for dark monsters, which is again fine because we primarily run dark monsters. And the last ones for our Rokket monsters is Router Dragon for obvious reasons. If you control a Rokket monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, then you can only special summon one Router Dragon once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one Rokket monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So he's also a combo extender. You can use him to pop, you can use Rokket Tracer to pop him, etc., and then combos ensue. Moving on to our extra monsters for this deck, we are running, now everyone is telling me the bad Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. I don't see why it's terrible right now. I don't have a new version of the card, so mine still says the original print, so I'm not going to read that one. We also run 1 Checksum Dragon just for life point support, because you never know, and Checksum is a great random card to play on your opponent. They don't usually expect it. Then I run 1 Keeper of the Shrine. When this card can be treated as 2 tributes for the tribute summon of a dragon monster. While this card is in your hand or graveyard, if a face-up dragon monster on the field, except Dragon Shrine, is sent to the graveyard by a card effect or because it was destroyed by battle, you can special summon this card. Then, if that monster sent to the graveyard is a normal monster, you can add 1 dragon normal monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, so he's great for helping us extend plays and just keeping bodies on board. And then the last one is Chaos Dragon Levineer. We primarily run dark monsters, but we do have a couple of light monsters in the hand traps that I will show you guys in just a second. So Levineer does come in handy. Moving on to the hand traps, we're running 2 Effect Veiler and then 2 Swift Scarecrow. These are my choices. I like to be able to stop battle and stop effects, and this is a little more broad spectrum than Ash Blossom is. So Effect Veiler does come in handy for a few more effects. I might eventually swap it out for Ash Blossom because it is in the current meta, but for the time being, we are keeping Effect Veiler in there. Moving on to the spell cards, we run 3 Quick Launch. Obvious reasons, special summon a rocket monster from your deck, but it cannot attack, which is fine because we usually use it to help us extend our plays. We also run 2 Boot Sector Launch, only 2 because it's so easily searchable in this deck, and it lets us extend our plays, gives us our rocket monsters more points. We also run Squib Draw, so we can use it to target our rocket monsters and get off our rocket monsters effects, as well as give 2 cards in our hand. Yes, 2 cards. I had to just correct myself. I haven't looked at this deck in a while because, like I said in the beginning, in the intro, I've been waiting on the cards for this deck, so I haven't really looked at it for very much. So I'm relearning it with you guys. So this is really fun. But moving on to 2 Rapid Trigger. I rather use Rapid Trigger because it targets monsters, and if it's targeting monsters on the field, you can use your rocket effects based off of Rapid Trigger. So it's a little bit better than running Polymerization in this deck, in my opinion. Other support cards we are running 2 Twin Twister, because it's not too bad to throw rocket monsters into the graveyard or Apsarouter into the graveyard, so we can use Apsarouter's effect. We also run 1 Polymerization just in case, 1 Foolish Burial for, like I said, Apsarouter purposes. We run 1 Monster Reborn because it's always useful now that we can actually use it, and then 1 Raigeki because I only have 1 and we're only allowed to use 1, so I decided to throw it in this deck. But that does it for the spell cards for this deck. We're about to move on to the trap cards, which I only run 2 in this deck, being Mirror Force and 1 Zero-Day Blaster. Everybody knows what Mirror Force does, but Zero-Day Blaster is tribute 1 Dark Link monster, then target cards up to on the field equal to its Link rating and destroy them. So in a deck where we run up to like Link 4s, I think we might run on. No, I think we only run up to Link 4s. But destroying 4 monsters at a time can be absolutely devastating. So Zero-Day Blaster is a great card to run in Link-based decks. Moving on to the extra deck, we are going to start with our big boys. We run 2 rank 4 Topologic monsters. We run Topologic Zero Boros and Topologic Bomber Dragon. Obviously, Rocket deck, it makes sense to run these in there. We also run 1 Borosword Dragon. Obviously, for obvious reasons, Borosword is a great card to run in any deck you could fit it into, but Borosword fits really well into the Rocket deck that it originated in. I also have 1 Boroload Dragon, 1 Quad Boral Dragon, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Booster Dragon, and 1 Striker Dragon. Yes, my Striker Dragon is a Japanese card. It was a lot cheaper than ordering other cards because I spent a lot of money on this one and other cards. So I decided to go a little cheaper for while I can, but I have this now so I can at least show you guys the card. So that does it for our Link monsters. Moving on to the rest of the extra deck, we are running only 1 fusion monster. We're running the Boroload Furious Dragon because we like to use its effect paired up with Boroload Dragon. It's really nice to use that combo. And then we have Synchro monsters. We have 3. Obviously, we have Boroload Savage Dragon. It, again, is a Japanese card. It's another card that I was waiting on to do this deck profile, but now we have it, so here we go. 1 Dark End Dragon, because I was looking for something generic, and Dark End is actually pretty useful. And then 1 Beals, just because we can. And that does it for the Synchro monsters. Moving on to the Xyz monsters and the last of the extra deck, we are running 1 Boroload X-Charge Dragon. Because I don't see anybody running it. So that was my reason for putting it in there. I want to see why, and this is my test. And I actually did see somebody else running it on EDO Pro the other night, so that was actually really cool. 1 Firewall XC Dragon. And then the number 11 Big Eye that I mentioned earlier. Big Eye can just be useful to help extend our plays by taking our opponent's monsters if we go second, and we're able to get both Exploder Rocket Dragons on the field. A Big Eye does do some devastating damage. But that does it for the deck profile. I will go ahead and shuffle up, and I will show you guys that I'm shuffling, and we will go ahead and do a couple of test hands. Alright, so let's go ahead and show you guys a couple test hands. We're going to start with a going first test hand and then a going second. Now, in our going second turn, we're just going to assume that our opponent has a build-a-board format board, where you just got a board full of monsters, so it makes it easier to go off and use card effects and stuff like that. So we're getting a good shuffle here real quick. Shuffle these together. Shuffle this together. Couple more little shuffles here. Alright. Deck goes down. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't look at it. But just to show good faith, I will shuffle it back into the deck. Alright, so let's see what our going first hand looks like. We got a Mirror Force, alright, an Effect Veiler, a Rocket Recharger, a Poly, and a Rocket Synchron. Alright, not the best hand. Not the best, but we can probably figure something out. So let's see here. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? I think we want to go Rocket Recharger. Rocket Recharger links off for our Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon effect. Search out a Boot Sector launch. Okay, so we'll use Boot Sector Launch, activate, and we will use it to summon our Rocket Synchron, so it'll give us a second monster on board. We go Link 2. And we can go Quad Boral. Because Quad Boral, you can discard one card, then target one face-up monster on the field. You cannot special summon Link 2 or lower monsters for the rest of the turn. Also destroy the targeted monster. Then, if it's a Link monster, you can special summon any number of rocket monsters up to the number of its Link rating. So, what I usually do is I use Quad Boral to target itself, destroy it, so I can bring back 2 rocket monsters from my graveyard. Now we can't use any other we can't use anything higher than a Link 2, but that doesn't matter because we're going to go ahead and just set up a big body on our turn and use Poly, and we're going to fusion summon for Borreload Furious Dragon. So not the most impressive first turn because we can set Mirror Force. Just imagine that's set, and we have an Effect Veiler in hand, and we have Borreload Furious. So I mean it's not the greatest first turn, but that's a going first turn. So now I'm gonna set up and show you guys a going second turn. All right, guys. So now we're gonna shuffle up for our going second turn. Give it a good shuffle, and we'll give it a cut and shuffle a little bit more. Alright, so we're going second to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We have an Effect Veiler, we have a Keeper of the Shrine, we have a Rocket Tracer, a Raigeki, a Rocket Synchron, and a Quick Launch. Alright, so not the worst hand in existence, but we can make it work. Let's do a little bit of reading here and see what we can do. Okay. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go Rocket Tracer. Rocket Tracer's effect to pop it. So we can special summon a rocket monster from our deck, which is going to be a Magna Rocket Dragon. And because our dragon monster was destroyed by card effect, we can go Keeper of the Shrine. And we can go Quick Launch. And we can bring out Rocket Synchron. Alright, link off Keeper of the Shrine for our Striker Dragon. Striker Dragon effect goes off. And we see add a Boot Sector launch. Do a quick cut. Just to be consistent. Activate Boot Sector launch. And now at this point, we have up to a link 3. So let's take a look at our extra deck and see what we can do. Because we don't have a fusion card. And I don't have enough to synchro summon. So what we'll do is we'll go and link off here for Quad Boral. Quad Boral targets itself. Pop. And we'll get 2 rocket monsters from our graveyard. Now, we've got a couple of link monsters in our graveyard. And we've got a tuner monster, so we're gonna link off, or we're gonna synchro off for level 8. Borreload Savage. Hey, we got there, fam. We got there in the end. Borreload Savage effect. Equip Quad Boral to it. Now it's got 2 negates, and we also have an extra Rocket Synchron sitting on board. And then we can also go Raigeki to clear our opponent's board. And then we can swing with big Borreload. So, I mean, there's a going second turn for you. But yeah.
So that's going to do it for today, people. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I upload new videos. Follow me on social media. All links will be down in the description. Have a good day, everyone. See you next time. Peace out.